Since I've done a few videos that are adhesive related, I thought I would do one last adhesive related video, and that is removing my dentures as someone who uses adhesive. I use Fixodent Ultra Max Hold. Fixodent is a water soluble adhesive. So the good news is it does not have a death grip. As far as when you go to take it out, it's not going to rip your gums up. It's not going to leave half of your denture in your mouth and then the other one's going to come up. It's not like a project glue. It's not like 3M tape is on your dentures or anything like that. If you can just break that suction, your dentures are going to come out just fine. But when you're new to using adhesive, it can be a little overwhelming because that suction is there, that hold is there. It's just really, really tightly in place. So it's a little overwhelming. I thought I would go ahead and do a video and just show how I remove my dentures, and it might help someone. The first thing that I do before I remove my dentures is I put a towel in the sink. That way, if my denture should fall out of my hand while I'm taking them out, they are going to land in the sink, on the towel. They're not going to land on the counter or in the sink, which is the same, that same hard as the counter, and you don't have to worry about that. So I always put a towel in the sink. When I take my bottom denture out, I make sure that I hold them in a manner that they are secure, with the top. I hold them in a manner so that when I take them out, they are not going to slip out of my hands. Now, I've had 18 years of experience as far as taking my dentures out, and I kind of could do it in my sleep, I'm pretty sure, at this point. So when I take them out, I just go like this with the bottom. I put my thumbs here and there. And I'm just going to lift very gently, and I'm going to break that seal. Oh, I've had my dentures in for 19 hours right now, so they're really securely in place. They're not going anywhere. I get a really good hold with my adhesive. So just lift up and break that seal. And I have a bit of adhesive still left on my bottom denture, and I have some, it kind of went right there. I hate that. And there's some adhesive left. I don't use a lot of adhesive, but because nothing gets underneath my denture, nothing compromises that adhesive. So there's still a good amount of adhesive left on my denture and in my mouth when I take my dentures out. It doesn't take me very long to remove my adhesive from my mouth, which I'll talk about after I take my top one out. Now with my top, I take my finger and my thumb and I spread them really far apart like that. And then I hold there, so that way I'm guiding it out, and it's not going to fall because I'm holding it. And I'm going to gently pull down and break that seal. And I got adhesive on my lip there. Still have adhesive on my mouth. Also have adhesive on my denture. Like I said, nothing gets underneath my dentures during the day. I have had coffee, water, just had a cup of hot tea about an hour ago. I've had chocolate today, eaten normally. Nothing compromises my adhesive. So I'm fortunate that I have snug fitting dentures, which is it's why I use adhesive. I use adhesive because I have snug fitting dentures. I use the adhesive as an extra source of security. I don't use it because I need it. I use it because I want that extra bit of security. For people who need adhesive, you might not get as strong of a hold that I get, and some liquids, hot liquids, may compromise your adhesive that they get underneath your dentures. It really depends on how your dentures fit. Now, when it comes to removing my adhesive, it doesn't take that long. It's a thin layer of adhesive that's left in my mouth. I don't know if you can see. It's really a thin layer of adhesive. There's a little bit more on my palate, but as far as like right in here, it's a really thin layer. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to talk through how I would remove the adhesive. So with my dentures, I'm going to use very warm water. I'm going to take a rinse and swish, While I'm rinsing and swishing my mouth, I'm going to remove the adhesive from my dentures. I'm going to work over my denture cup, which I'm going to fill with very warm water. And using very warm water, I'm going to put my dentures underneath the very warm water while I'm rinsing and swishing, and using my tongue to rub the adhesive off of my gums and my palate. Then the adhesive that is on my dentures is going to brush off, dissolve completely, because Fix-It is a water-soluble adhesive, and that adhesive is going to rub off. Any adhesive that may come off of my dentures is going to go into the cup of very hot water, or very warm water, sorry, and it's going to dissolve. I don't ever have adhesive that is left in the cup, but if I did have adhesive left in the cup, I have these silicone kitchen hot pads that I put in the bottom of my sink, and any adhesive that might come out of my denture cup is going to get caught on the little grooves that are right there, and it's not going to go down my drain. And I use tissue, wipe that off. If there's any adhesive in the bottom of my cup, I also will take a bit of tissue, wipe that out, and throw it in the garbage. And that's pretty much all I do as far as removing the adhesive from my dentures. It's really quick, really easy. It takes maybe a minute. In that time frame, most of the adhesive has dissolved from my gums and my palate. Then I do another rinse and swish, and then another rinse and swish. About a minute each time, using my tongue to rub it off. And then when I'm done, I take a ultra soft bristle toothbrush, this one right here, and I brush my gums with very warm water, very gently, and get any of the rest of the adhesive that is left on my gums. The whole process maybe takes, I don't know, like 4 minutes to do that. And then I take toothpaste, brush my gums and my palate, the rest of my mouth, clean my tongue, and then rinse with mouthwash. From the first rinse and swish with water when I remove my dentures to the last rinse and swish with mouthwash. I cannot talk well when my dentures are out. Plus I have adhesive in my mouth, which is also causing a couple of little bits of speech issues. So anyway, the whole process maybe takes 7-8 minutes. It's not a long process, and in the last few minutes I'm spending cleaning my mouth, cleaning my tongue, and all of that, and not like maybe the last few minutes of it is not removing adhesive from my mouth. So that's how I remove my adhesive. That's how I remove my dentures as someone who uses adhesive, and how I remove my adhesive from my dentures in my mouth. Hopefully this helps someone. I'm going to go ahead and go, and I will talk to you later.